Hello, viewers. Today, we delve into a chilling chapter of history, the horrifying Nazi experiments conducted on humans during World War II. It's a dark journey through unimaginable atrocities that shaped our understanding of ethical boundaries. I urge you to stay tuned till the end as we shed light on these historical events. Your support in subscribing ensures we continue to explore and educate on important subjects. Now, let's uncover the unsettling truths together. World War II marked a disturbing era of medical experiments that transcended the boundaries of humanity. Within the horrors of that time, various experiments unfolded, each leaving an indelible mark on history. One of the darkest chapters involved Dr. Karl Klauberg's artificial insemination experiments. Around 300 women at Auschwitz became victims of his cruel methods, enduring verbal abuse and the false promise of creating monsters. Klauberg's true motive was to gather information on treating sterility, a pursuit that led to unimaginable suffering. In the unforgiving conditions of Dachau, the hypothermia experiments sought to simulate the harsh realities faced by soldiers on the Eastern Front. Subjects were subjected to freezing temperatures, either in ice baths or exposed to the brutal Auschwitz winter. Approximately 200 prisoners endured these extreme conditions, leaving a haunting legacy. The cruelty extended to deliberate malaria infections, affecting over 1,000 prisoners during World War II. Victims faced the agony of being bitten by malaria-infected mosquitoes or having extracts injected directly into their bloodstream. The repercussions were not only physical but also left lasting psychological scars on those subjected to this inhumane experimentation. At Dachau, approximately 90 Romani subjects were subjected to the unthinkable, forced to drink seawater. Deprived of food, these experiments caused immense suffering and bodily harm. This cruel testing was fueled by the Nazis' pursuit of making seawater safe to drink, a stark reminder of the lengths they went to in the name of their warped ideologies. The haunting experiments at Dachau reached new heights, quite literally. Special low-pressure chambers were constructed to simulate altitudes as extreme as 68,000 feet. What unfolded within these chambers was a tragedy, as 80 test subjects perished and an additional 120 were executed after the experiments concluded. The pursuit of scientific knowledge came at an unbearable cost. In the quest for knowledge, the Nazis conducted hepatitis experiments on Polish prisoners at the Sachsenhausen and Natzweiler concentration camps. Victims were deliberately injected with the disease, enduring prolonged suffering as their suffering became a mere instrument for the twisted experiments of the Third Reich. The depths of Nazi cruelty extended to the creation of an anthropological display to allegedly showcase the inferiority of the Jewish race. August Hirt, a Nazi scientist, sanctioned the torture and mutilation of nearly 100 people. Victims were exposed to toxic gases, and their remains were sent to the University of Strasbourg, a grotesque display of inhumanity disguised as scientific inquiry. Dr. Josef Mengele's obsession with twins took a horrifying turn at Auschwitz. Twins, arriving in 1943, endured extreme conditions, including exposure to scalding water, removal of all body hair, and lethal injections. These abominable experiments sought to unravel the mysteries of heredity, and the twins paid the ultimate price for Mengele's scientific curiosity. The horrors extended to the use of toxic gases during World War II. At Fort Ney near Strasbourg, prisoners were exposed to phosgene gas, causing lung irritation. For weak and malnourished individuals, the exposure resulted in pulmonary edema, leading to the death of 4 prisoners. the pursuit of scientific advancement clashed violently with the value of human life. Ravensbrück, known for its atrocities, became a site for experiments that plunged victims into unimaginable suffering. Subjects were wounded and deliberately infected with gangrene and tetanus. The cruelty escalated as foreign materials like sawdust were forced into the wounds, aggravating infections. These experiments epitomized the ruthless disregard for human life. Dr. Kurt Heissmeyer's experimentation at Neuengamme plunged victims into the horrors of tuberculosis. Patients, including children, became subjects as Heissmeyer injected tuberculosis bacteria directly into their lungs. At least 200 lives were lost due to these experiments, showcasing a horrifying disregard for the sanctity of human life. In the twisted pursuits of Dr. Josef Mengele, eye color became a focal point of his experiments. Mengele collected the eyes of his deceased victims, using them as research material. His macabre curiosity extended to attempts at changing eye color through dye injections. The victims' eyes became both symbols of their torment and testaments to the depths of Nazi cruelty. The malevolence of Nazi experimentation took a deadly turn with poison experiments. Chemicals were added to subjects' meals, leading to either slow perishing or immediate death for autopsy purposes. Additionally, prisoners were subjected to poison bullets, hastening the effects of these deadly substances. The experiments showcased a callous disregard for human life in the name of scientific inquiry. The pursuit of a warped ideology led SS doctors to conduct mass sterilization experiments during World War II. Surgery, pharmaceuticals, and radiation were employed to discover an inexpensive method to sterilize hundreds of thousands of people. The victims endured physical and psychological trauma, emphasizing the chilling lengths the Nazi regime went to implement its reprehensible doctrines. Dr. Josef Mengele's perverse fascination extended to documenting the progression of Noma, a rapid and gangrenous infection. Instead of administering life-saving antibiotics, he observed the relentless spread of the disease until victims succumbed. The documentation stands as a macabre testament to the inhumanity perpetrated in the name of experimentation. In a grotesque attempt to understand the intricacies of heredity, Nazi scientists conducted an experiment that defies all ethical boundaries. Twins were surgically attached back-to-back by Dr. Josef Mengele in an endeavor to create conjoined twins. The children endured days of suffering, ultimately succumbing to gangrene. This macabre experiment exemplifies the dehumanizing cruelty of the Third Reich's scientific pursuits. The horrors of mustard gas found new depths as victims became subjects in experiments to test treatments for mustard gas burns. Deliberate exposure to this toxic gas inflicted chemical burns on the subjects. Their wounds were then subjected to various treatments in the pursuit of finding the most effective remedy for the consequences of mustard gas exposure. Dr. Herta Oberhäuser's sadistic tests involved simulated combat wounds inflicted on test subjects. Foreign materials such as wood, rusty nails, glass, dirt, and sawdust were rubbed into cuts, causing severe pain and infections. Oberhäuser's experiments were not only physically torturous, but also showcased a chilling lack of empathy for the suffering inflicted upon the victims. The quest for a spotted fever vaccine led to deliberate infections to test vaccine effectiveness. Victims were intentionally infected with the spotted fever virus to keep it alive in their bodies for experimentation. The human toll was staggering, with many perishing as a result of these inhumane experiments. The pursuit of scientific progress overshadowed any regard for the well-being of those subjected to such cruelty. As we reflect on these unspeakable atrocities committed during World War II, it becomes imperative to remember the darker chapters of history. Understanding the depths of human suffering and cruelty is crucial not only for honoring the memory of the victims, but also for ensuring that such horrors are never repeated. By acknowledging and learning from these painful truths, we pave the way for a future rooted in empathy, compassion, and the unwavering commitment to safeguarding human dignity. If you found this exploration of history enlightening and believe in the importance of remembering, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support ensures that we continue to shed light on crucial aspects of our past, fostering awareness and understanding. Together, let's build a community dedicated to preserving the lessons of history. Thank you for being part of this journey with us.